So we are finally at the reunion. This is the season 13 reunion part 1 of 3 review. From the previews I've been seeing, I'm not really excited, but you know me, I'm an optimist. So let's get into this episode. So we start out and we see the set, and it's a dungeon theme, and it's just crazy what dungeon really came from. Like, dungeon really came from my perspective, season 9, when Phaedra and Porsha told that lie about how Candy and Todd would take them to a sex dungeon and drug them. I can't say the R word, but y'all know what. And then I guess Candy turned a coin out of it. She had her dungeon parties and then the dungeon themed bachelorette party. So it's just kind of weird that that's where it all originated from. But you know, the set is great. I mean, I'm so glad it's not virtual. Thank God. So we're doing the whole behind the scenes thing now, and Andy's going around to see the ladies. I really can't believe they do this like 12 hours, a 12-hour shoot. So I'm seeing what Cynthia's wearing. I like it. I mean, I'm not really sure which dungeon theme about it besides it just being black and have feathers on it, but it's a cute dress. I mean, Porsha, of course, looks lovely. This black dress, though, looks like the dress she wore to Cynthia's wedding. But either way, like, I don't see how it's dungeon themed, but okay. And Kenya. I like her dress too. Kenya, Cynthia, and Porsha, they look like they have 3 different variations of the same dress. And the black dresses are just giving me Vegas showgirl, you know, not dungeon theme. Oh, Drew. That asymmetric puffy sleeve, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. And the dress looks a little dowdy. Yeah, I really don't like Drew's dress now that I see it in the camera lighting too. No. Now here comes Candy. Now she got so much flack, and rightfully so, on the internet because that picture was really bad. It was a bad picture of her, like the angles or whatever. But seeing it now, like, she's the only one who really did the assignment. That screams dungeon to me, like mistress, pinup girl. I mean, I like it. It's not bad. But ooh, they came for her online to the point she had to address it. The theme with the ATLAs is just always titties. Those are some supple looking titties on that stage right now. And Andy looks good, but you know, I've walked past Andy a few times in New York. Andy has a full beat right now. Like his face, foundation, everything. He looks good. When that beat is off, ooh, like paper towels, skin like paper towels. Anyway. So the first segment seems to be how they've all been coping with COVID and how they packed on the pounds and how they had to be forced to stay at home. Yeah, we're starting off with a lot of fluff and pleasantries right now. I'm gonna fast forward through this. So next we get the Porsha's reel, and you know, she's been Porsha Luther King all season, and they were kind of focusing on all the good she's done for Black Lives Matter and using her platform on the show. So now we're getting to the mess. Kenya's being grilled about her shady comments on whether Porsha was authentic in her help for Black Lives Matter. Because she definitely said it a few times in the confessionals. Here she go. I never said that I didn't believe what she was doing, but she excluded me from her PSA. I mean, she wasn't fucking with you, and she knew you were saying bad things about her. So, I don't know, like, you still said what you said. So Porsha gives a dignified answer, and then, well, Andy asks, well, why didn't you invite her then? And she said, well, yeah, like, I knew she was talking about me, and I just feel like I didn't need to include her. So Kenya is saying, well, it appears to me you don't care about all lives. And then Porsha says, well, while you're speaking from the curb, what are you doing? Exactly, what is she doing? It just seems to me like none of the other women on the cast question Porsha's motives concerning Black Lives Matter. It was only Kenya. So to me, it just felt a little bit more targeted from her and more personal. So they're just going back and forth right now on this. Porsha does have a point though. Kenya has been on a media tour trying to shame Porsha, you know, with the stripper, and also making shady comments about her being authentic when it comes to marching. I just don't understand like why she would expect Porsha to do anything with her. So the next reel is Kenya being embarrassed by her husband. Kenya being embarrassed by her estranged husband, yes. This is what this reel is dedicated to. So Kenya says they're in court, but it's over custody. It's not for divorce. And she says she still wears her ring and she's filed, but they're not divorced. They're still technically married. But they haven't lived under the same roof in, I'm guessing now, longer than they've been married. It's so strange. Like, are they really married though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Are they actually married? Is there a marriage license? So Andy brings up how Kenya was mad at Latoya for spreading her business, but she didn't call out Candy for it when she was telling the Candy Coded crew. And Kenya said, well, we already had a conversation about it and we addressed it. So I'm guessing it's a non-issue. So now Kenya is blaming the pandemic for the reason why her and Mark aren't under the same roof. I mean, girl, he's been embarrassing you before the pandemic. So I don't know, that's a weak excuse to me. Kenya is like a politician right now talking about Mark. I'm tired of it. I really am. I have nothing else to say on it. Lord, they're bringing up Kenya's mom. They're saying that's the reason why she keeps entering into destructive relationships. Who are writing these cards? I think it's producers. People aren't asking Kenya these questions. But Kenya does agree with this comment, but she says it's not destructive relationships. She's just looking for the love that her mom didn't give her. Cue the tiny violins. So Drew gets a shady question saying, why do you always talk about Kenya's marriage when you still don't know where your husband went for 3 days in Florida? Damn, I bet she regrets saying that on camera. People have been attacking her for that since the season aired. So Drew says, well, Kenya spoke on me and my husband before we even met. And, you know, thanks to producers, we have the footage of Kenya calling them strays. So yeah, Kenya be throwing shots and she gonna get those shots right back. Kind of like Kenya's karma. So Messy Andy, he reads a tweet that Drew made saying how Kenya can critique her family when, you know, her husband isn't even under the same roof. And then I'm guessing Kenya's clapback to that was, well, how can you say about my family under the same roof when your baby daddy is under the roof of a jail? So this Kenya read didn't work because one, her baby daddy isn't in jail. 2, she's not in a relationship with her baby daddy. And 3, she lives under the same roof with her husband and her kids. I don't know. I thought that was a fail for me. I thought Kenya thinks she did something with that. And Drew is kind of checking Kenya a little bit on the stray comment. And Kenya apologizes. So now we're getting to the topic of Kenya wearing the Native American headdress that, you know, got so much backlash and she had to apologize. Bravo had to apologize. So Kenya's just saying, yeah, she got the business. You know, when it came to that, I'm sure she did. And she said she thought it was her heritage. And you know, Andy's gonna keep asking like, oh, so what's your Native American heritage? And she gets a little bit more specific, saying she has aunts that live on reservations. And I'm like, okay. So I know it wasn't just me, but I know, have any of y'all like been told, oh yeah, you got Indian in your family? I've been told that so many times. And I'm just like, okay, well, you know, that's great, but you know, I'm a black man, I'm black. So she said she talked to an organization and then they told her like why exactly it was offensive and she acknowledges it and she apologizes again. So Porsha hits Kenya with, well, you know, I find it interesting. And you know something about the come when anyone says, you know, well, what I find fascinating is, or what I find interesting. And she says that, you know, it's interesting that Kenya wants this understanding, but with other people, she doesn't give the same grace. And she's giving her example of when Kenya said in the beginning of the season about still mocking Porsha about the Underground Railroad comment. Porsha in production with the receipts. And even seeing Porsha talk now, can y'all just see the growth that she's had on this show? Like, wow. And Kenya is still the exact same asshole. So Kenya thinks she got Porsha with saying, oh, well, you didn't hold your sister accountable when she wore Native American garments. And then she calls out Drew too for saying she dressed as an Indian in her photo. Porsha brings up a really good point. She said that if it was Porsha that did it, Kenya would have roasted her the entire season. I said that on that episode. Like, just imagine, Porsha could have did that to Kenya, what Kenya's been doing to Porsha all season with the stripper. So what Drew's talking about is like, I think the Mardi Gras Indians or like the Native Americans that are in Louisiana, like that's a thing. So I get that. I was told that she was lying. I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments. Also, what was really offensive about what Kenya did was the Native American headdress. That was the main thing that was really offensive to Native Americans because that is ceremonial. And she was wearing it as like a costume. And the picture that I saw of Porsha's sister, she wasn't even wearing the headdress. She was just wearing shells. And I'm pretty sure that was a long ass time ago. So that's pretty much petty on Kenya's part. And Cynthia's like, y'all, we all make mistakes. We do. And yes, we do. And that's the whole point of it, okay? And they're all yelling at each other, and Andy tries to stop it and move on. So next we bring out Drew's husband. I'm not sure why the other husbands didn't come out too, but yeah, I'm guessing they're gonna get straight to it. He's a part of Drew's reel. So yeah, Ralph, he looking good. I heard online that he is 5'6". You mean to tell me I am a foot over Ralph? Damn. So now we're getting to Drew's reel, and yeah, of them bickering. And Ralph is still toxic. And just because they showed the scene of him with her son, yes, that's nice, but he's still toxic for her. So yeah, the whole package is basically their relationship throughout the season. So they're talking about her baby daddy and him visiting her son. She said since filming Rap, he's only seen him once since the time we saw him on the show. I'm like, that's not good. So yeah, this story kind of mirrors what Kandi was going through. And I forgot early in the season that Kandi had this child support plot line with her ex Block. Kandi lets Andy know that she won the case against Block and he now has to pay all that child support to Riley, and it's all gonna go to her. So then Drew takes the time to call Kenya out on a tweet she sent out about that scene with her son. And yeah, I mean, as a cast member, just don't speak on it. Like, I mean, she was giving her opinion. I mean, I had my opinion on it. Like, don't force that kid to do that. Like, he just wants to play a game. He ain't worried about his dad, but it's the difference between Kenya doing it and me doing it. So Drew says that hurt her to the core. The core. And yeah, Drew's getting emotional and Kenya's just rolling her eyes. And she's saying, sorry if you felt that way. Now, a lot of y'all was saying Drew was acting. But, I mean, this was believable. I mean, she's a good actress then. Oh, you need to look at the trauma you experienced and what your mother didn't give you. Okay, Drew, is Drew reading Kenya? So Drew seems to score another apology from Kenya. Wow, okay. I don't know why this is so funny, but Drew said you owe my son an apology too. Now, I think Drew's being authentic right now with her anger because that little vein right here is popping as she's talking to Kenya. Kenya is smirking now, but she's saying, well, what you did to me, that is always Kenya's comeback. Like, oh, well, what you said to me. Well, Kenya, you started. You know, you always started. Kenya is a throw the rock and hide your hand type chick. Drew says, I will never forgive you. And now we get to the Tampa trip. Lord. Will Ralph tell the truth? Let's find out. Now, did they just add a drum roll? Did they really add a drum roll? Oh my God, to see what he was doing in Tampa. So Ralph says he really just needed to clear his head. He goes to the beach, even though he bypassed a bunch of beaches. And Drew says she believes him. She saw hotel receipts, restaurant receipts saying one guest, which you can easily change. His Apple Watch schedule, which I'm not sure what that does. But that's enough for her. And just like Kandi said, like, well, she believed it and that's all that matters. And Ralph then says, as everyone's laughing, that he will never leave Drew again without telling her where he's going. And now he's trying to bring up, you know, because he is still toxic. Don't let the handsome face fool you, as well as the body. He tries to bring up the bachelorette party as a, oh, well, she did the same thing. Actually, you knew exactly where she was. The whole thing was televised for you, and you were able to contact her. But nice try. They're having a good old kiki about their toxic marriage. Like everyone just laughing, ha ha ha, and joking. Wow. So now we get to Drew's accusation that Kenya was eyeing her man. I mean, Kenya does have a history, so it's easy to put that blame on her. And you know, Kenya refutes that. And all I gotta say is Kenya should not try to insult anyone's husband, anyone's marriage, or anyone's family situation. I've been trying to say that. She is throwing boulders in a glass house when she does this. Anywho, producers are now showing whenever Kenya said something about Drew's husband being fine. Child, we still on their marriage? Oh my God, can we get to the next segment? So finally, after all that line of questioning, they dismiss Ralph. They say, thanks for coming. I'm guessing that's all the husbands we're gonna get. Like Mike not gonna come or Todd. I'm guessing they're not necessary. And now they're on break and we're seeing a lot of behind the scenes tea. And we see Latoya getting ready to come out. Andy goes to her dressing room and asks her a few questions. Apparently she was sick. She has a kidney infection. I thought she had COVID, some type of cold. She had a number of things. I'm not sure. But I know she better get her ass to the reunion because she needs to be held accountable for her actions that she's done all season. I don't care if she was on a ventilator. You get your ass on this show. So now I'm guessing some drama happened where Latoya's saying Drew's assistant or whatever came to her room, barged in, put a camera in her face and gave her some vitamin C on behalf of Drew. Now Latoya comes out and she looks pretty from the breasts up. I don't really care for what she's wearing. I'm not sure what this is that's hiding her titties too. Like the dress looks unfinished. I don't know what else to say. She's such a pretty girl, nasty attitude. She is Kenya 2.0 to a T. So Latoya with this weak shade already. I'm here with my girls and SpongeBob. I'm guessing she's referring to Drew. And she lets everyone know of the behind the scenes drama that happened, trying to make Drew look bad. Drew says, girl, it wasn't me. I was mortified when it happened. That person got sent home. Latoya is not here for Drew's shit. I think it's going to be a long 2 parts that's coming up. Yeah, they're going back and forth. Apparently Latoya is crediting herself for upgrading Drew's fashion. Girl, I'm still looking for the fashion. As well as the hair. See, that's the thing. Like, she came out the gate swinging, and still, at this reunion, I know nothing about Latoya. She doesn't talk about her YouTube on the show. She doesn't talk about her family. All she was just like Kenya's lackey. That's what I have a problem with her. Even right now, she's just attacking Drew. Like, I know nothing about Latoya. So the episode ends with Latoya calling Drew trash, and we have 2 more reunions to look forward to. So far, I mean, I didn't mind it. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. I was entertained. It's funny, like the whole part 1, it was nothing but Kenya, Porsha, and Drew. Like Cynthia and Candy really didn't have that much to say, which really tells me that they need the chop. That's what they need to do. We need to replace them with somebody. Replace Candy with Phaedra and Cynthia with, I don't know, Tamar Braxton, Vivica Fox, somebody, please. Like, please, can we shake up this cast? Anywho, I'm looking forward to the next 2 since this one wasn't that bad. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I will get y'all with Married to Medicine, The Circle. Ooh, child. Check out my Mortal Kombat review too while you're at it. Okay, bye.